The time has come.
I am ready. Lead on.
Our destiny awaits among the stars.
The discovery. In the vast expanse of the Andromeda Galaxy, where stars twinkled like distant fireflies against the black velvet of space, the Zorathian Empire reigned supreme. For millennia, they had expanded their dominion, conquering lesser species with their advanced technology and unyielding military might. The Zorathians were a reptilian race, their scales shimmering in hues of emerald and sapphire, their eyes piercing yellow slits that missed nothing. They prided themselves on their hierarchy, where the strong led and the weak served. At the helm of their formidable fleet was General Crackskull, a veteran of 100 wars, his body scarred from battles that had forged him into a legend. The Zorathian young, known as hatchlings, were the future of their empire. Born in vast incubation chambers on their homeworld, Zorath Prime, these tiny creatures were nurtured under strict protocols. They were not just offspring. They were the embodiment of genetic perfection, engineered to be warriors, scientists, and leaders. To lose even one was a catastrophe. To lose a clutch was unthinkable. It began on a routine scouting mission. The Zorathian cruiser Vortex Fury was patrolling the outer rims of their territory, near a wormhole that led to the uncharted Milky Way galaxy. Captain Lyra SSK, a seasoned officer under General Crackskull's command, had detected anomalous readings, energy signatures that didn't match any known Zorathian tech. Intrigued, she dispatched a probe. The probe's feed streamed back in real time. At first, it showed nothing but swirling nebulae and asteroid fields. Then, a ship emerged from the shadows, a crude, bulky vessel, unlike the sleek Zorathian designs. It was human. Humans, those upstart primates from Earth, had only recently ventured into interstellar space. The Zorathians viewed them as primitives, barely worth noticing, their technology a patchwork of stolen ideas from crashed alien probes. But what the probe captured next sent shockwaves through the Vortex Fury's bridge. The human ship was docking with a Zorathian nursery outpost, a small, automated station where hatchlings were temporarily housed during transport. Alarms blared as the feed showed human figures in bulky suits breaching the outpost's hull. They moved with surprising efficiency, disabling security drones with EMP bursts and neural disruptors that shouldn't have existed in human hands. By the ancestors, Captain Lyra Siske hissed, her tail lashing against the console. They're taking the hatchlings. The feed cut out as the humans destroyed the probe. But the damage was done. 20 hatchlings, precious, irreplaceable, had been kidnapped. The news rocketed up the chain of command, straight to General Crackskull on the flagship Eternal Dominion. Crackskull was in his war room, reviewing holographic maps of potential conquests when the urgent transmission arrived. His adjutant, a young officer named Vexlor, burst in, scales paling to a sickly green. General, emergency from the outer rim. Humans have raided nursery outpost Zeta 7. They've taken the hatchlings. Crackskull's eyes narrowed, his clawed hands gripping the edge of the table so hard it cracked. Humans? Those insignificant mammals? How dare they? He activated the holoscreen, replaying the probe's final moments. There they were, bipedal figures in armored suits, scooping up the wriggling hatchlings into containment pods. One human even paused, as if waving mockingly at the camera before blasting it. Panic wasn't a word in Crackskull's vocabulary until now. The hatchlings weren't just any young. They were from the elite bloodline, including his own granddaughter. The Empire's future rested in those tiny scales. If word spread, it could incite rebellion among the lower castes, who already grumbled about the elite's privileges. Seal all communications, Crackskull ordered, his voice a low rumble. Mobilize the fleet. We retrieve them at once. And prepare the panic protocols. Vexlor blinked. Panic protocols, sir? Those haven't been invoked since the Great Schism. Yes, Crackskull snarled. Because this is war. Humans have just signed their extinction warrant. As the Eternal Dominion powered up its warp drives, heading toward the wormhole, Crackskull couldn't shake the unease. Humans were supposed to be weak, divided, barely spacefaring. How had they pulled this off? And why the hatchlings? Little did he know, this was just the beginning of humanity's audacious plan. On Earth, in a hidden bunker beneath the Himalayas, Admiral Elena Vasquez smiled at the mission report. Phase 1 complete, she said to her team. The aliens think we're kidnappers. Perfect. Now, let's show them what humans do best, adapt and conquer. The humans hadn't kidnapped the hatchlings out of malice. Intelligence had revealed that the Zorathians were planning a full-scale invasion of the Milky Way. The hatchlings were leverage, but more than that, they were a key to unlocking Zorathian biology. Human scientists had discovered a vulnerability. The hatchlings emitted a pheromone that could disrupt adult Zorathian neural links, the very tech that powered their hive mind coordination in battle. But the real HFY moment? Humans had reverse-engineered Zorathian stealth tech from a crashed scout ship years ago. They'd been watching, waiting, and now striking first. Vasquez's team included bioengineers, hackers, and Marines who trained in zero-G combat sims that made Zorathian drills look like child's play. As the stolen Zorathian shuttle sped back through the wormhole, carrying the crying hatchlings, the human crew, led by Captain Marcus Hale, cooed at them awkwardly. "Shoo, little guys. We're not going to hurt you much." Hale was a grizzled veteran, his face scarred from Earth's unification wars. He knew the risks. If the Zorathians caught up, it was over. But humans had a knack for turning the tables. Back on the Eternal Dominion, Crackstull paced the bridge. His fleet, 50 warships strong, emerged from the wormhole into Milky Way space. Scanners lit up with human colonies, primitive but numerous. "Find that ship," he commanded, "and prepare the annihilators." The panic was setting in. Reports from spies indicated humans were mobilizing too. What did they know? How deep did this go? The chase begins. General Crackstull's panic escalated as the fleet dove deeper into human territory. The Milky Way was a chaotic mess compared to the orderly Andromeda sectors. Planets teeming with life, asteroid belts mined for resources, and human ships zipping about like insects. The Eternal Dominion's sensors struggled to filter the noise. "Status report." Crackstull barked. Vexlor saluted. "We've traced the energy signature of the kidnapped shuttle. It's heading towards Sol System, Earth's home. But sir, human defenses are activating. Their orbital stations are arming weapons we didn't know they had." Crackstull's tail twitched. Humans were supposed to have rudimentary lasers and missiles, not phase disruptors. "Impossible. Our intel. Outdated, sir. They must have scavenged from our probes." The general slammed a fist on the console. His granddaughter's life hung in the balance. Zorathian hatchlings required specific atmospheric conditions. Without them, they'd weaken. Time was against him. "Deploy hunter drones. I want that shuttle intercepted before it reaches Earth." Dozens of sleek drones launched from the fleet, streaking toward the signal. But as they closed in, something unexpected happened. The shuttle's signature split into 10 identical echoes. "Decoys," Vexlor exclaimed. "Humans are using cloaking mirrors. Primitive, but effective." Crackstull roared. This was no random raid. It was calculated. He entered full panic mode, activating the Empire's emergency neural net. Every Zorathian warrior linked minds, sharing thoughts and strategies in real time. It was their greatest strength, or so they thought. Meanwhile, aboard the human shuttle Phoenix Rising, Captain Hale grinned. They took the bait. Activate the pheromone emitters. The hatchlings, now in a simulated Zorathian environment chamber, were unharmed. Human scientists had replicated the conditions perfectly, even adding nutrients to keep them healthy. But the real trick was the pheromones. Amplified and broadcasted, they jammed the Zorathian neural links. As the drones approached the decoys, the fleet's coordination faltered. Pilots reported headaches, visions blurring. "What's happening?" Crackstull demanded, clutching his head. "The hatchlings, they're sent. It's overwhelming the net." Panic spread like wildfire. Ships veered off course, colliding in minor scrapes. Crackstull severed the link, ordering manual control. Humans knew about this? How? On Earth, Admiral Vasquez monitored from Command Central. "Good work, Hale. Phase 2. Lure them in." The Phoenix Rising docked at a hidden lunar base. The hatchlings transferred to a secure facility. Humans weren't just defending, they were innovating. Bioengineers studied the hatchlings, discovering ways to weaponize their biology against the invaders. Crackskull's fleet regrouped, but morale plummeted. Whispers of human superiority circulated. Impossible, yet the evidence mounted. Press on, the general urged. We outnumber them 100 to 1. But as they neared Mars, human fighters swarmed, sleek, agile craft powered by fusion drives that outmaneuvered Zorathian behemoths. Lasers sliced through shields, missiles homed in with AI precision. Retreat formation, Crackskull yelled, but it was too late. 3 destroyers exploded in brilliant fireballs. The general's panic peaked. This wasn't war, it was humiliation. Humans, those primitives, were turning the tide. In the lunar base, Hale watched the battle feeds. Fuck yeah, humanity, he muttered, fist pumping. The HFY spirit was alive, underdogs rising, ingenuity trumping brute force. Crackskull, nursing wounds to his pride, plotted his next move. Call for reinforcements. This ends now. The turning point. As the Zorathian fleet limped toward Earth, General Crackskull's panic evolved into desperate fury. Reinforcements were en route, another 100 ships, but the delay gave humans time to prepare. On Zorath Prime, the Emperor demanded updates, his holographic form flickering with rage. How could this happen, Crackskull? Our hatchlings in barbarian hands. I will retrieve them, my lord. Or die trying. But doubt not at him. Scouts reported human worlds buzzing with activity. Factories churning out weapons, civilians training as militia. Humans bred like vermin, their population in billions. Zorathians, with their controlled births, couldn't match that. Aboard the Eternal Dominion, Crackskull convened his war council. We strike Earth's heart. Bombard from orbit, demand surrender. Vexlor hesitated. Sir, their shields, they've adapted our tech. And the pheromone jamming, it's spreading. Indeed, human broadcasters were relaying amplified hatchling signals across the system, disrupting Zorathian comms. Crackskull felt isolated, his mind aching from the interference. Launch ground assault. Send the elites. Thousands of Zorathian warriors dropped onto Earth's surface, targeting the lunar base where Intel placed the hatchlings. But humans were ready. In the Himalayas, Vasquez's command center orchestrated the defense. Activate Project Prometheus, she ordered. Prometheus, a network of AI-controlled drones, each carrying bioweapons derived from Zorathian scales. Humans had dissected crash specimens years ago, engineering viruses that targeted reptilian DNA. As Zorathian drop pods landed, human forces, marines in power armor, ambushed them. Bullets ricocheted off scales, but then the drones struck, releasing mists that burned through armor. Zorathian screamed, scales melting. What sorcery is this? Crackskull watched from orbit, horrified. His troops, invincible in past conquests, were falling to microbial warfare. Panic turned to terror. Evacuate. Pull back. But human hackers infiltrated the fleet's systems, using backdoors from stolen tech. Ships turned on each other, friendly fire erupting. On the moon, Hale guarded the hatchlings. One, Crackskull's granddaughter, had bonded with a human child psychologist, Dr. Arya Singh. They're not monsters, Singh said. Just kids. Scared like ours. The HFY ethos shone. Humans empathized, adapted, protected. While Zorathians conquered, humans innovated for survival. Crackskull, cornered, broadcasted a message. Humans, return our young, or face annihilation. Vasquez replied. Come and get them, lizard. The battle raged. Human ships, smaller but faster, darted between Zorathian giants, planting charges that detonated engines. Earthlings cheered from below, their spirit unbroken. Crackskull's flagship took hits, systems failing. This can't be, he whispered. Humans were winning resolution and triumph. In the climax of the conflict, General Crackskull's panic reached its zenith. His fleet, once mighty, was reduced to half. Reinforcements arrived, but too late. Humans had fortified Seoul with minefields and railguns. Full assault, Crackskull commanded, voice cracking. Waves of Zorathian fighters launched, met by human interceptors. Dogfights lit the void, explosions blooming like fireworks. On Earth, civilians watched via live feeds, united in defiance. Humanity fuck yeah. Chants echoed in streets. Vasquez coordinated from her bunker. Release the hatchling's signal at max power. The pheromone blast hit the Zorathian neural net like a hammer. Warriors convulsed. Ships drifted aimlessly. Crackstull, isolated on his bridge, faced a boarding party. Human marines breached the hull, led by Hale. "Fight me, coward!" Crackstull roared, claws extended. Hale, in power armor, dodged strikes, countering with a stun baton. "We don't want to kill you. Just talk." The general lunged, but Hale sidestepped, injecting a sedative. Crackstull collapsed, defeated. In negotiations, humans revealed the truth. They'd kidnapped the hatchlings to prevent invasion, using them as shields. Now safe, the young were returned, healthier, even, thanks to human care. Crackstull, humbled, signed a peace treaty. "You humans, you're not primitives. You're demons." Vasquez smiled. "We're survivors." The Zorathians retreated, empire shaken. Humans emerged stronger, their ingenuity celebrated galaxy-wide. Years later, alliances formed. The hatchlings, influenced by human kindness, advocated for peace. HFY, humans didn't just win, they redefined the stars.